Look at that. Broke, busted, and disgusted. Shit. My name is Jamie Sue. The God in me loves and meets the God in you. You want to know a lesson I learned as a female? Gosh darn it. I learned a lesson as a female. Kind of a celestial kite, if you would, that I watched through lessons of other people. And this is all verifiable. This is my memory, unless somebody wants to deny it. But I was given a 7-foot snake one night in a ferret cage and told to love it and care for it. And I was super stoked about it. It was an albino Burmese python. By 3 o'clock that morning, that snake had pried apart that ferret cage and was like 2 feet out, not a foot from my head. You know what it's like to have a 7-foot albino Burmese python? His head, his one fucking seriously pivotal, painful point within your grasp. Anyway, moving forward, that snake ended up sleeping with us. I saw women's roles. You guys used to have a role. You were good as drivers. You were good at stuff like that. There were things that you were responsible for, and you were really good at it. I also saw where certain ones stepped over bounds, and I don't know if they were ethical bounds or innate bounds, but I know that they stepped over them. Okay, and through mystical, magical reasonings and methodology, those women's lives were affected awfully, awfully, and I watched it happen to a few women that had very good lives. Very good lives. Lives that they didn't take advantage of, but they definitely didn't appreciate. And there's a fine line between that. Again, observed very closely, appreciated these women for the fact of how they operated not only as women, but as wives and as mothers in different, I would say, statistical phenomenon, circumstances, if being politically correct. But I saw you guys all make your first mistakes, whether you knew it or not, whether I said it or not, whether you admitted it or not. No matter what your sign is. And you have to understand that the men observed me being a participant of it, but not actively aware and kind of unwillingly against free will. And somehow, through choices, I would exit the negativity that surrounded your little fucking vortexes of vaginas, and held some sort of regard for myself and my vagina, because I saw not only what the possibilities were with it, but also how you could just bend over, take a dick, and clean your nails, and then come and brag to me about it while I was madly in love with my man. It was crazy. It was fucking the most ostentatious way a woman could behave towards another woman, but obviously we seem to keep on setting that standard. Don't we, ladies? And I say we because I am a female. I don't like it, but I do own it, and I appreciate it. And I've been it in all ways. I will say cancer is here's the deal, ladies. STDs may have came from science, but cancer was manifested in a female. It was something to do with the female anatomy and the way that you were so diabolical about it that it had to come about. And I would love to say that I wish for world peace, even though that's a facade. And I would love to say that there'd be no disease in the world, but those diseases that somehow manifested from somewhere are an apparent proof of a situation that needs to be made aware of. We can work on a lot of other diseases, but women have to take a lot of responsibility. That's why you see the purple ribbons for breast cancer so prevalent out there. Somebody knows that's open apparent of guilt to the accountability to cancer, specifically breast cancer. And that's like one of those mad moms who drives drunk secretly. You know what I'm saying, ladies. Don't play. Don't make me be any more shrewd than what I need to be. Please and thank you. Again, you ladies are a side part of why I do this. I speak for the masculines. I speak about the masculines. I speak to them in ways that you should never speak to them because of the way that I refuse to behave in manners and ways that you do. And the mannerisms that I speak of are the way that you operate, the way that you conversate, and the choices that you make. And I'm okay with that. I hope you know that I would never ever hold that against you. I like being in my own segregatory type of manner because it keeps me close to the men that really depend on you. Whether it's men that are deployed or men that are doing, time on the inside. And I can't not give credit where credit's due since you let females onto the streets and operate and stuff like that, and they've made relationships on both sides of the fence. All right? I think this may be our last chance, ladies, to prove some sort of point that the men were not always right about us being made of secondhand shit or dirt that was not of the same, or the winds that don't blow the same way, or a fire that doesn't fucking ignite that I can't fucking explain, or hurricane-like orgasms that you squirt out, or they fucking manifest in the oceanic fucking innate cheese and rice. I mean, it'll happen. I watched it happen with you, Faith. Don't you remember when you lost your sight? It was because you saw stuff and spoke about stuff that you should have never seen as a daughter and a sister of some sort of deal. Celestial fucking contract with the solar situations. And the way you got out of it, girl. Shit. You put some of these wives to shame with their fucking diabolicalness. With no regard to others. Only of self. And that's, as a mobster, I can't allow that. That's why you weren't allowed to operate in the mobster, because you're just too selfish. It's not because you were snitches. We beat the fuck out of you on mobster days and reaper days. That was not a concern. Please understand everything I say is just a weird little manifestation of my imagination. Or it's the truth. Listen. Oh my gosh, it's so weird for me to, even for my white boys, specifically for my white boys with tattoos and their sisters and all that shit. It goes weird, and it gets like to this weird deal when you talk about the men's sisters. Ugh. Shit. And mind you, I speak for the generation that the men didn't give the women an option to have equal rights. Those women had to earn those equal rights by pretty much being just like men. In every way. It wasn't an option. It wasn't something that was... It was one of those unspoken life truths that just existed. I don't know what the fuck to say. Like... Your mamas know. Your crazy aunties know what I'm talking about. But really, your grandmas know. They're probably all dead from dementia from keeping their mouths shut, or some sort of schizophrenia, or not schizophrenia, I'm sorry, some sort of dementia, or what is the other one, where the OGs go out, the female OGs go out. Some sort of deal where they dissolve your memory so you don't remember the awful things that you experienced as a female, because if you did, and you came back in another lifetime, holy shit, Amazon women would look like Power Rangers. You see what I'm saying? Alright, I'm going to read the cards on this, because it's I absolutely love the idea, but it goes against everything I stand for women's rights and staying loyal to who put work in, no matter how the work was put in. Because I always have hope for the ones that are already in place, like a fucking fool. I don't know if it's laziness or just dumb hopelessness. Or the future just looking so damn good, I can't help but fucking encourage it. Oh! I'm gonna read the cards.